Let me bang. I do let you bang. Hey, let me bang you, man. I let you bang. I let you bang. Greetings, marriage and virgins.
Go for Jesus. No forget Jesus, people.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for your favorite mixed martial arts podcast. Recording out of Los Angeles, California, it's MMA Roasted with Adam Hunter.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
What's up, people? We got a brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. I'm here with Greg Romero Wilson, the funniest human being I know. He just left. You give the guy a compliment, he just leaves. So I guess it's just me right now. But we have a great show. I'm waiting for Greg Wilson to come back. I'm also waiting for McCorkle. I'm waiting for Don Frye, as well as who else do we have? Oh, we have Stephan Bonner coming in. Yes. Greg Wilson cannot take a compliment because I give the guy a compliment and he just immediately gets off.
I must be a good comedian because I'm not technically savvy at all. I was trying, you know how like when you start recording and that big message comes up to let you know that the Zoom's being recorded? I was trying to scroll to the bottom of that so it would go away and somehow ended the fucking thing. So I'm sorry.
I go, you're the funniest guy I know, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm out. That happens with girls, man. And as soon as you show like that you like them back, like they're out.
Exactly. The second you're positive with them, they're like, okay, you like me too much. Goodbye.
That's what my wife told me the night. She's like, you spend half your life trying to get laid, and then the other half avoiding having sex with your wife. And I was like, that's not true. I love having sex with my wife. I do. It's just a matter of like, I told her that joke that Chris Rock said. Chris Rock had a great joke. He never did it live, but he goes, man, right now there's some guy going, fuck, I have to go home and fuck Tyra Banks tonight. Like no matter what you have, but she didn't understand why that was funny. I'm like, no, that's you have to explain it. Anyway,
I feel like the fucking Tyra Banks wasn't the problem. I feel like it was all the rest of the time that was
probably. It's funny that my wife says that as soon as I put my mouth guard in, she knows we're not having sex. That's like the universal sign for no sex tonight is the mouth.
Oh my God. It's like you're the woman and she's the man. The fuck is going on at your house? Because in my house is the exact same thing, only she's the one with the mouth guard, and I'm the one going, oh, I guess we're not fucking then, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of issues with me. Here with Don Frye. Don, how are you, man?
I'm good. I think you should get your testosterone checked. See if you have any at all.
I did. I was like negative 5,000. They had to give me 5,000 just to get me at zero.
Yes.
So, but anyway, I did a show in Vegas last week at the Dirty at 12:30, which is great, and it was packed. It was standing room only. It was fucking awesome. And I did a joke about how, as far as COVID, everyone wants to know how dangerous is COVID. I'm like, I say we give it to Magic Johnson. Like if he dies, we're all fucked, right? Somebody, don't let the jokes kill. Some guy.
It's a great joke.
Some guy in the back goes, "That's 20 years old." I go, "What? COVID came out last year. Like what's so?" He goes, "Magic Johnson having AIDS. It's a 20-year-old reference." I'm like, "Fuck this guy." Like, yeah, like, but I couldn't see him, and I hate those fucking hecklers that you can't see because it's like when you do like a theater, it's like it's one thing if the guy's in front of you, and I'm like, all right. So how are we gonna deal with this? And then I did my next joke about Jesus, and I go, yeah, that joke is 2021 years old. And then it was just like, boom, but I fucking hated this dude. And then one that got a laugh, that guy thought he got the laugh. It's like a heckler says something, you kill him, you get a laugh, and then he thinks he got the assist. No, you didn't get the assist. Like, I'd rather you not be there. But it's, I fucking hate when I get those hecklers that I can't see. What are you going to do?
I had a very similar situation happen to me on Saturday night. I was doing the Supernova show in Hollywood, and I'm doing my closer about wet ass pussy, and right as I'm hitting the big line, right as I'm riding into the big final punchlines, some girl just yells out when I pause, and she yells out, "I've got a wet ass pussy."
Oh God.
So you can't not address it. So now I turn around and I'm like, I was like, Cardi B's here tonight or something. And and everyone's starting laughing. I try to go back to the finish and she yells, and I'm a squirter. and I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, apparently it's time to pivot. This is I know that she didn't realize you bought tickets to a sex show, but I'm going to bring her up here and we're going to finish this show right and all this. And then I was like, who yells out, I've got a wet ass pussy? I did this whole act out of it being like a spring, like, the whole thing. Okay, so then after the show goes great, save the show, save the moment. Everybody goes crazy, no big deal. Okay, and I'm like, hey, good night, cute. Okay, I get on the stage. She's like, and she goes, yeah, I really. She comes up to me and is like, I was the wet-ass pussy girl. I'm like, okay, great. She goes, I do comedy too. And I'm like, then why are you talking?
Oh God.
And she goes, what? I was helping you. I felt like we were a comedy team. No. And I was like, oh my God.
It's the worst.
You send her a check?
Yeah.
Jesus, I'm going to send her a used condom in the mail. That'll be her page. Fucking, I wanted to strangle her so fucking bad, dude.
Well, we have so many things to cover today. Obviously, we'll get into the fights that were insane over the weekend, which also, I was in Vegas, and my wife got me tickets to a concert for my birthday of Vanilla Ice, Young MC, Kid and Play, Tone Loc, right? Like all of these, and I was like that one of those 90s shows. So I'm like, and it's my birthday present. So I'm like, all right. So a couple people offered me tickets to the fight, but I'm like, nah, I gotta get home. We've been planning this. As I'm driving home, I'm like, what time does the show start? It got canceled because of COVID. The concert got canceled, and someone offered me, and I got offered a couple tickets to the fights too. So. Oh
no! So you turned down I thought for sure you were at the fights. I figured that's why you scheduled that weekend in Vegas.
No, I turned them down. But then we had tickets to go see Buck Cherry last night. It says 8 o'clock on the thing, but then it said 9 o'clock on a different website. So we're like, we'll get there at 8:30. I'm sure there'll be opening acts. They were on at 8. We got there right when they were singing "Crazy Bitch," like their finale.
The big hit, the one hit.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. So I missed I missed 2 concerts this week. And it's so funny.
Hey, you know what?
What?
You know what? There's somebody just invented something, and it's really this really neat idea. It's really cool. It's like a little personal mini computer, and they call it an iPhone or phone or something, and you can look things up immediately and find information. Like, hey, is the show still going on tonight, or can I get the tickets from this guy to watch the fights? Or
yeah, I think when Don Frye,
he really wound up for that one, didn't he? You got the full Frye right there.
Well, Don Frye's giving me advice on technology. I've hit an all-time low. I don't think I can get anywhere near this. Dude, then I got a call last week and I was in Minnesota, right? I'm filming my big TV show this week. I'm not going to say what it is. I signed an NDA, big show, really happy. But I got a call hey, you want to be on a commercial next week? This is so-and-so from casting. I'm like, well, what are the details? They're like, oh, well, it pays like $1,000, blah, blah, blah. You're going to be off camera. I'm like, off camera? Yeah, they're like, yeah, you're going to be feeding lines to Jeff Goldblum. So I'm like, yeah, sure. Jeff Goldblum is a fucking legend, right? I'm like, they need me for, I never heard of doing an off-camera commercial, but okay. So then I don't hear back. And then I hit back. I didn't even audition for this. I call back. They're like, oh, they went a different direction. I'm like, I didn't even get an off-camera part. I didn't even get a part. I didn't even get a part to not be on the fucking camera. But they went a different direction for somebody else to not be off the camera. Fuck, dude.
Now, hey, you know what? You said you couldn't hit a low, go lower than technology advice from Don Frye. You just went lower.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you, Don. All right, so let's talk. Speaking of low, let's talk about Jon Jones because he got arrested over the weekend. Thursday, he goes to the UFC Hall of Fame. He made a speech. I didn't see it. I heard it was great. Heard he was with his kids, his wife. It was just like a wonderful speech. Everybody was really happy. Yada yada yada. Friday, he gets arrested.
That's okay. It's only his first arrest. It's only his first arrest. He's a really clean-lipped guy.
Now, Sean, as a guy who's Now, what does this mean? He was charged with a misdemeanor, battery, domestic violence, and injuring or tampering with a vehicle. So I understand domestic violence, so that obviously with his wife, but injuring a vehicle?
He used his wife's head to open up the door. Roll down the window.
Don stole my joke. I was going to say, Adam, earlier you were talking about missing that concert getting canceled. I'm shocked that they're canceling events and everything. Like Biden said he was going to cancel the virus, shut the virus down. And as well as he's done on everything else, I'm shocked that they're still having COVID issues. I mean, that guy's knocking it out of the park left and right. So
yeah,
I'm really surprised that
it definitely.
Yeah, if only people would get vaccinated. Jeez.
I agree.
Maybe it would actually come to an end. I don't know.
If only people get vaccinated, they could.
It seems like we have a cure, and all you got to do is take it. I don't know.
Look, Sean doesn't want to put anything in his body that shouldn't be there. Okay,
that doesn't enhance performance.
I don't know. It would enhance your performances abroad. That's what that sounds like. So.
Okay, all right. Well, this is Jon. Somehow went from Jon Jones to Biden.
I feel like McCorkle was just waiting.
Sean, you're a guy.
That was his prepared opening statement for 4 days.
It actually was.
Yeah, and you've been mulling it over. You move pieces around. You know, and then it's like, well, I'm just going to say it anyway. Fuck it. I don't want to try and think about this any longer.
Shaw finally got moved to number 2 on my list. First Biden, then Shaw.
So Don Frye, Greg Wilson, Sean McCorkle, what do you do with Jon Jones? What's going on? How does this guy? Is this a lost cause?
Well, it sounds like it was one hell of a celebration. That's what that sounds like to me. And that party must have been a rager. And somebody invited somebody with the cocaine because that party went to 11. That's what that sounds like. Shit.
He had his kids with him and his wife. What was he doing? His wife got into a fight. He said, I'm just speculating. I have no idea. They got into a fight. He's like, I'm leaving. No, you're not. What happened here? I don't understand.
I just know I was watching the fights, and I was watching. I can't remember what the girl's name was, but she was fighting Andrade, I think it was, and she was getting beat real bad.
Cynthia Cavillo.
And I was thinking, man, I haven't seen a woman get beat this bad since, Jon Jones this morning. That's all I could think.
Jeez.
Don Frye, you're Jon Jones's coach. You're his life coach.
He doesn't have a coach. What are you talking about? He's not a fighter anymore.
No, but let's say Don Frye was Jon Jones's coach. What do you tell him?
I'd bench him.
He bench him.
You have to bench him. He's not ready for life. He needs to sit another year or 2 out.
He keeps getting that over and over again, and it never makes a difference.
It's just sad because there are so many athletes that you're like, man, if only they would have in their prime, had somebody like a Lawrence Taylor. He could have been even better, or a Dwight Gooden, or a Darryl Strawberry. I mean, there's Mike Tyson. Imagine how good Mike Tyson could have been if he had, stayed on the straight and narrow. And now we're seeing this in real time. We're seeing a guy who's just fucking up his prime, who's undefeated, who's so much talent. But what is it? You think it's just what?
It's a perfect lesson. It's the perfect lesson for every wannabe athlete or any person that's going to strive out there and to think that they might want to try drugs. It doesn't work.
Well, and I think it also is a testament to every one of these guys. They reach such a pinnacle that they feel like they're bigger than the game, and then they find out that they're not. And I think that's the lesson there. It's it doesn't matter how big you get. You're never bigger than the game. You're always still just a player, and the game can just kick you out, and then everything you worked for just goes with it. So, you're never bigger than the game, and you should always just I think that's the lesson there.
Hector Lombard, Hector Jr., you're John's coach. What do you tell him?
What are you doing? Why are you going to do anything? You think I don't want to eat? I want to eat. I can eat if you go and ruin the whole meal. That's what I say to him. What, you want me to start because you're the asshole? Don't be the asshole, okay? That's what I say.
I think that's what he needs. He needs a cue.
Give me some cocaine.
I think that's what he needs. It's just crazy. All right, so some of the fights that went on. Did you watch the fights, Don Frye? Please say yes.
Yes, did. It was pretty interesting. That one guy, that one guy got knocked down 2 or 3 times. He's got more fucking saliva in his mouth than most porn stars, you know?
Oh. Oh. Was that which one was it? Was that
the guy Merab
Abdugurov? Yeah, that guy. Yeah,
that guy, man. I mean, I love that guy. I mean, that dude. You know what's crazy about that though is that he obviously he got rocked by Marlon Moraes. He was out on Queer Street, as they say it. Which, by the way, one time I was watching a fight with a bunch of there was like a couple gay guys, and I'm like, "Whoa, he's on Queer Street," and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, no, that's not what it means.
Where is that?
Explain to them. Like,
they're like, where, exactly, where is it? Do I just put that in the Uber? Like, where?
It's at the corner of Buffer and Dominic Cruz roads.
Boo! Oh, there he is. But you didn't work it out. I'm a little disappointed.
So, but the guy was smart because he literally ran away. He literally turned his back and started running from the guy to clear his head. A lot of times refs you turn your back and they'll stop the fight if you start running. I think that was a really good strategy. If like I'm rocked, I don't know where the fuck I am right now. I need 30 seconds. Run. Like.
Well, I think you're thinking of two different guys because the guy you're thinking of is that Valishli.
No, I'm talking about Merab
Devalish.
Yeah.
Okay, he wasn't the one with the spit though. The guy with the spit was Abdurakhmanov or whatever. The one that Dachau knocked out. That was the one who spit was flying. They kept replaying it too. They kept showing it over and over again. The most interesting thing about the fight was how much spit was coming out of that guy's mouth.
Yeah. Oh, right. Well,
the way that Merab like cleared his head and came back and won that fight after what looked like a clear knockout in the first round was fucking amazing.
I know. I had him on my parlay too. I actually was in Vegas. I put up a couple, and of course, I'm like, I bet on Merab. I'm like, he's not going to lose. And I'm like, oh fuck. And then when he came back, I felt like a genius until Nick.
That was an amazing comeback. That was really remarkable because he was out on his feet there for a second. But Marlon definitely gassed. I mean, he used everything he had to fucking put him out, and that was it. He didn't have any. I mean, he just laid there and kind of just took it after that. He let him pound his ribs for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, I said he landed more unanswered blows than DJ Khaled's wife. That's a good one.
Oh,
all right, so the fight that you're talking about, though, the heavyweight, the guy is a cop. He's a cop from Boston or something.
Yeah, Dachau.
Yeah, and what's funny was because he was like, the guy commentating, Anik, said, yeah, he wants to be the best heavyweight of all time. And Cormier was like, please. Like, come on, man. Like, he got, like, offended that he said that.
Like, he's the greatest heavyweight of all time.
Yeah, and then right when Cormier was like, come on, man. He just got that guy Doc was clocked him. And then gave him the middle finger, too, which was also a little strange. But that guy could be really good. That cop could be really good. Really, really good.
Yeah.
I just thought it was crazy for once to see a Boston cop beating someone up. You never hear about that.
Well, empty-handed is strange.
That's horrible. And now let's talk about the main event that went on because that Volkanovsky against Ortega was an awesome fight. Ortega walked in with that purge, those like with the 4 guys. It looked like it was like Blue Man Group or something. And it was funny because you see when they walked in, Greg? You didn't see that?
I didn't see the walk-in. I didn't see the walk-in. I saw the fight.
You guys walk in, McCorkle, you see it?
I wasn't really paying attention. I was too busy crying over how much money Nick Diaz cost me. But
okay.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to walk-in.
He walked in with like a black it was man, I'll have to find it, but it looked like it was from the Purge, and Cormier was like scared. He's like, what the hell is happening right now? What's going on? And somebody had a joke about like, I think it was Brett Ernst, how like, if you do magic around black kids, it's the greatest thing ever because they just flip out. like when black kids see magicians, they flip. And it was Cormier had that expression of like, what the fuck is going on right now? It was hilarious. But yeah,
if he was black and walking to the ring, he probably looked like he was watching an episode of Different Strokes. That's me. I don't know. Because he's tiny. I don't know.
Okay. Oh yeah. I see what you're saying now. Yeah, apparently that was quite a big deal with that those purge masks.
So yeah, I didn't. Hold on, I'll show you. Hold on. Let's see. Share. If I could share the screen. Here we go. Can you guys see what I'm looking at right now?
Yeah.
See, yeah, they walk in like this.
know what, though? It's too bad they don't score the walk-in.
But I thought Ortega hung in there. I mean, he obviously
he hung in there by a thread, but he got his ass handed to him. I believe I called this one correctly.
No, I also called this too.
Yeah, you and I, we were on Volkanovsky.
He was like a foot taller than Volkanovsky.
That's what surprised me was the size difference. When I saw that, that was the one moment where I was like, oh, maybe I was wrong about this.
But I don't know. Volkanovsky should teach a course on how to escape submissions because he was in deep against a high-level black belt and got out. McCorkle, how did he get out of that?
Different times. It was crazy because I had Volkanovsky. One of my bets, I bet, like a prop bet, was that Volkanovsky would win in the fourth round. It paid 30-1 on $100. And so he almost killed him at the end of the third, right? So I was actually rooting for Ortega. But after that, I was like, well, I'm at least going to win $3,000 because there's no way Ortega makes it another round. And then sure enough, he comes out like he wasn't even touched, or whatever. So it was hard not to root for Ortega, though, man, with that beating he took that he kept fighting. That was that guy's got balls, man. It wasn't as bad as the Max Holloway beating, but it was close. Like it really was.
Don, how does a guy escape those submissions? Is it just toughness?
Oh, shit, I'll tell you what. Yeah, toughness, survival. Maybe little cheating here and there. Shit, maybe he's facing his legs up, with turkey grease, turkey butter. Who knows?
He was that was the thing when he was in that submission, the first one, and he was kicking his legs like crazy. I was like, is he panicking? It looked panicked. It didn't look like a technique kick. It looked like he was choking to death and he was just fucking kicking his legs. And I was like, what is he panicking? I couldn't figure out what was going on with his legs. And then he managed to get himself out there. So I guess all that was creating some kind of of room.
I think he also got in his head a little bit because at the weigh-ins, he mentioned the fact that Ortega failed a drug test. And he was like, you're a cheater. This is years ago, like I don't know, 7 years ago or something. He's like, you cheated, you're a drug. And then it looked like Ortega was about to cry. Like he looked really upset about this. Like it really hurt his feelings. But Volkanovsky is as tough as they come. I was so impressed by him. And you can't help but fucking,
Yeah, but come on, man. Give Ortega some credit. Look at the guy. He took a hell of a beating and he kept coming. He did
100%. No, I give them both credit. I'm a fan of both.
I was surprised they let the fight continue, though, after the fourth. The way he was standing there, they were like, can you see my fingers? How many fingers do I was like, come on, he's out. He's out on his feet, but they let it go. I was shocked.
They held up one finger, though.
Yeah. Herb Dean, shit. Did I turn off the fucking phone?
No, you're good. You're good.
When Herb Dean would ask him how many fingers, and Herb be holding up one, and he'd say two, and Herb pop one up. Yeah, two, that's right. Yeah.
Herb was like, I want to see how this ends. Come on. I don't know. I thought they were going to call it. Everyone was looking at him. He wasn't answering the questions correctly, it sounded like. I was surprised they let that thing continue.
I'm guessing Herb also had money on a Volkanovsky finish in the fourth, would be my guess.
Yeah, something.
Well, the guy has dated Demi Lovato, Halle Berry, allegedly. Now he's with Tracy Cortez. You can't have everything. You can't have the hottest. Something's got to give. You can't have.
That's true. You can't have it all. You can't have it all. You don't get all that puss and the title. You can't have it all.
Yeah, and I made the correct choice by choosing the title. Wow.
Now, Nick Diaz, I don't even know what to say about this fight because there was a picture of him looking ripped a year ago, like just shredded. Then he came out. He obviously was not. He missed weight, or he said, we're not going to fight at 185. They were like, whatever. He went out there. He did not look like he was in shape. But then the fight was great. It was it was like a fucking Don Frye fight. It was just rocking, socking robots until he got his nose broken and he just quit. I never thought I would ever see Nick Diaz quit in anything, either Diaz brother. And I'm still like a little shocked as to what the fuck happened. Don Frye, what are your thoughts on this fight?
I am too, yeah. But have you ever had your nose broke?
Not by Robbie Lawler.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It hurts. And then when you have somebody still standing on your toes, punching on it, after it's broke, it really hurts.
Yeah.
So sometimes, I mean, if that might have been his last fight either way. So why stay in there and take a beating, if you're going to quit anyways?
Who broke your nose?
Shit, I don't even remember anymore. It's been broke about 5 or 6 or 7 times. After a while, you just go, damn, he broke my nose,
Greg Frye, do you remember who broke your nose?
Of course, my dad, Don Frye. He was the first one. He didn't even mean to. He was just changing my diaper. And just, I kicked up, and his natural response was whack right in my little baby nose. And that was it for me.
Hey, that was an accident.
I know. I never blamed you, Dad. I never blamed you. I always knew it was my fault for taking a cheap shot at you.
Just like you. That was an accident.
Why are you going to say it on here, Dad? Why are you going to say it?
McCorkle, what happened in this fight? Diaz.
Dude, I don't want to go on forever about this, but I will. I'm a big better on things. There were several things I knew going into this fight were 100% sure things. One, I was positive Diaz was going to come in phenomenal shape because I saw the same pictures as you when he wasn't fighting, like ripped in great shape. I was like, the Diaz brothers have never come in out of shape, ever once. I was positive Robbie Lawler having lost 4 in a row. There's no way he's going to beat Diaz or outlast him cardio-wise. I was positive Nick Diaz wasn't going to quit no matter what, so I bet for it to go over 3.5 rounds because I was like, there's no way he's going to get finished or quit. So that's a lock that it's going to go, if he doesn't win, it's for sure going over 3.5. I was positive he wouldn't get knocked out, so I didn't bet Robbie Lawler to knock him out. Like, everything I bet was positive that happened the opposite. And I'm pretty sure Greg told me to bet Lawler last week. I can't remember.
No. I did actually. Actually, I did say Lawler. Yeah.
Yeah, you said Lawler last week, and I was like, well, Greg screwed me the week before when he told me to bet somebody I didn't bet, so I'm not going this time. And I'll be damned if, I was – Diaz stays in shape around. He's been training all this time. Everything was opposite of anything anyone would bet that knows about fighting.
You must do a betting show. You have to, so people know what the right opposite bet is.
Yeah, just bet opposite of everything I do. It was a lock, man. I thought for sure he'll come in shape. He'll outlast some cardio. It'll go at least 3.5 rounds. Everything I wrote, and it was.
So when he quit,
first took his shirt off and came out, I was like, well, that's not good. Like when I saw him with his shirt off, So
Sean, when he quits, what's going on in your house when you're watching it when he quits?
I almost hung myself. I was fashioning a noose because had he gone over 3.5 rounds, I would have lost a lot of rope, probably cleared $500. When he lost and quit, it killed 17 parlays I had that were all just dependent on that last thing. All it has to do is last over 3.5, and I'm good.
Oh my God.
Why did he want it 5 rounds if he was going to come in shape to go 1 round? That's what I can't figure out. He's the one that demanded to be 5 rounds.
That's what shocked me. I was like, why is this a 5-rounder? He demanded it to be 5 rounds. That's all I could think was, why would they make this a 5-rounder? It's not for a belt. It's not the headlining bout. Why is this a 5-round fight? He hasn't fought in 5 years.
It was all part of a bigger scheme to make me go bankrupt. I think that's what it's really about.
They say that speed's the first to go, and obviously with Nick, it seems like speed is the first to go. I like these fights though. I think he should fight Diego Sanchez next. I think he should fight Jim Miller. I think we should fight Guida. I like these all time.
No. He's done, buddy. That was the big finale. And you know what? That was when I saw it. The first thing I saw when he came out there, and I was like, I feel like right now there are thousands of Mexican homes with thousands of Mexican children sitting in the room going, hey, why is Dad fighting on TV right now? Because he had such a dad bod going in there.
Oh, plus
Greg messed that one up. There were thousands of Mexican homes with tens of thousands of Mexicans.
That's true. And then the other thing, I was like, he was breathing through his mouth so hard after round 1. I was thinking the same thing. He clearly only expected this to go 1 round. And then when he busted his nose and sat down, and I was like, yeah, he can't breathe. The guy can't breathe anymore. He's done. That's it.
But he's also partied hard. Like, you go on his Instagram, 6 years of partying. It looked like he just did 6 years of partying. But
I'll tell you what the smartest fight is to make for all the UFC and everybody is Conor McGregor and Nick Diaz. Because Conor would beat him at this point, and that would sell 9 million pay-per-views. And they're trying to get Conor a win. That fight makes sense to me. So.
Yeah, I mean, it was sad, though. It was kind of sad. But at the same time, it was a great fight before he quit. So it wasn't like he went in there and gave a lackluster performance.
Well, I mean, it was a fun fight to watch. I wouldn't say it was a great fight to watch because he looked tired. He looked like he was getting hurt. He looked, you know what I mean? I mean, I didn't think it was a great fight to watch. It was fun because it was just swinging. They were just standing there, just swinging on each other.
I was waiting, though. Like, I'm like, because I'm watching with my wife, and she's like, "Oh, who do you think's gonna win?" Even after round one, I'm like, "I think Nick Diaz is gonna win. I think he's gonna outlast him. I think eventually he's just gonna take that many punches, and he's gonna punch Robbie Lawler out." Robbie Lawler was smiling during the fight, like he was having fun. This is the first time I've seen him have fun in ever. Like, he never smiles during fights.
Well, because he was in great shape, and Nick Diaz wasn't. Yeah, he looked at it, it's like, oh my God, this is the longer this goes, the more fun I'm gonna have. He can't fucking breathe. I'm just gonna
seen him have fun before. He was like smiling, fucking Sam Lawler in there. It was
the only fight.
Diaz was gassed.
Oh man,
Diaz was gassed just walking to the cage.
We are back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back on for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your number one spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With a new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the number one source for everything football. Who doesn't love football? I love football. So head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use promo code CLNS50 to receive your bonus. From football, basketball, boxing, or onto your favorite Vegas casino games, don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Yeah. The only fight I've ever experienced that is when I was fighting Mariusz Pudzianowski and he was breathing heavy 30 seconds in. I was like, finally, somebody gets tired before me. Like, I was smiling too. Like, I was like, that's great. Finally, I'm the one who's tired.
But you started your career, McCorkle, you were 20-0, right?
No, I started like 12 or 13-0.
I mean, you had a good fucking career. You act like you were some bum. You went 13-0 your first 13 fights.
Yeah, but my first 13 opponents had a combined total like 7 wins. But luckily they were able to come back later in my career and beat me in the rematch. But get them some more wins. But no, I'll tell you, dude, you just think if that fight was only 3 rounds, I wonder if Diaz wouldn't have toughed it out and finished and fought the fight.
That's what I was thinking too. He was so much. He would have. I was like, why did they set him up for failure with a 5-rounder? The guy hasn't fought in 6 years. You don't step into a 5-rounder. Fuck that. Jeez.
Curtis Blades, by the way, I know everyone was booing him. A lot of times when you get knocked out or you lose something, you need a win. You got to have a win. You got to get that one. It's like, and even with girls, sometimes you don't get laid. They used to call them slump busters, or I guess I don't know what women would call it, like dick
hookers.
This was like a slump buster for him. He needed that win, and I'm so happy he didn't give in to the crowd of like getting booed and be like, "Oh yeah, well look how strong I am," and then getting knocked the fuck out, because he wasn't getting fight of the night regardless. There was just so many good fights on that. He wasn't getting that, and he needed that win, but I don't know what they do with him now, because I don't know. He's just a weird – I mean, what do you think, Don? He's a good wrestler. He obviously can't take a punch for Ngannou like anyone really can, or the Black Beast, but he beats everyone else in that. Like where do you think Curtis Blades in the heavyweight division?
Basically, he's going to be a stepping stone. If he's number 3 and he can't beat number 2 and number 1, you're just a stepping stone.
Yeah, I mean that kind of sucks, because he's a good wrestler, a great wrestler, and he just every time he almost got punched, you were like, oh, he's gonna go down. What did you think of the Curtis Blades fight, McCorkle?
Man, I thought it was, I don't know, it was boring, really. He kind of just wrestles everybody, and holds them down. And it's, I wasn't a big fan of it. I usually don't pay much attention when he's fighting, knocked down on his way in or, dry hump him to a victory. So.
Yeah. I hear
I'm here for the dry humping. I like it. I like to watch him do it. That's his style, and I like to see Curtis Blades win, and he needed a win. And it's not like this was like an uncontested victory or anything.
Yeah.
Jairzinho, he fought hard. He put up a decent fight, and Curtis came out of there looking like he'd been in a fight, so it wasn't like it was some yeah, his eye was all busted up. He took some pain, but he came out on top. I got love for the guy, and I think he's got to figure out a strategy to beat those guys, because he's not going to win on power, and he's got to beat them with strategy.
That's what your corner's for. That's what your fucking corner's for, your trainer. God damn, if, he needs to get a new trainer, a new corner, a whole new team. He needs to get somebody with a fucking brain.
There you go.
Watch their opponent, dissect them, and come up with a plan. And then make sure that Curtis follows that fucking plan.
There it is. Exactly. So I think he can still not be a stepping stone. I think he's still very relevant, and I think that's exactly the way he might get over the hump in this division.
I was watching with my daughter, and she's like, Daddy, how come he's blacker than him? I was like,
you're racist.
No. I was like, I told her, I said, look, people come in all colors, and but we're all, beautiful people on the inside and outside. And I tried to, give her that, but I didn't really know the answer. like what? It's a good question.
They say racism starts in the home. It's sad.
Yeah, like you wanted to explain 400 years of American history. This country wasn't always so good to everybody. And
there hasn't been 400 years.
Dude, it was. I was taking my kid to the. She was in the bathroom, and there was a handicap sign on it, and it was like, man, woman, handicap, and she goes, oh, she has a baby. She thought that the woman was sitting down carrying a baby, because that has that and I'm like, no, that just means she's handicapped. And she's like, what do you mean? I go, well, her legs don't work like other people. And then she goes, well, how do they play? And she started almost crying. And I was like, no, they just find different ways to play. But it's hard to explain this to a 3-year-old. It's just like I'm trying to say the right thing with, I don't know.
Adam, I had a similar experience with my son. He told me something wasn't fair one time when he was 4 years old. And I said, well, there's little kids your age in a wheelchair, and you're not. Is that fair? And he goes, yeah. And I said, why? He goes, because I'm not in a wheelchair. So hard to argue that logic.
That's a McCorkle answer right there. That's they say it starts in the home. So.
Right.
I was like,
it's okay for me, not for them. For me, totally fine. Not for that. That's McCorkle.
It's so funny because after my show on Saturday, this Native American people came up to me. They're like, hey, we're Cherokee. How come you didn't do any Cherokee jokes about us? It's like, because the last time I did a Native American joke, somebody told me that it was in Vancouver, and they had just found 500 dead bodies of kids under a school that were Native American, in the next town over. And they were like, well, we don't know you didn't know this, but I was like, oh, okay, well. And then now I got Cherokee people yelling at me for not, and they're like, please, next time we come to the show, do some jokes. But no problem. Anyway.
They should have known. They should have known there was an issue with that school when the kids' pets that died kept coming back to life. But I don't know.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
I ran into that one time in Alaska. I was like, hey, what are you? And he goes, oh, I'm Native American. I said, oh, really? What kind? He goes, you pick. And I go, oh, I pick? Okay, fine. You're a Sioux Indian. And everyone started dying laughing, but in a way that wasn't to the joke. And I was just like, what is everyone? Turns out Yupik is the dominant tribe that was the name of the tribe, was Yupik.
But that's a funny joke, though. I was in a show, there was an Indian person, not Native American, India. And I'm like, oh, you're Indian. I'm like, where from? He goes, I'm Sikh. I'm like, well, I hope you feel better.
Right.
It was like, All right, so Lauren Murphy versus Shevchenko. I actually put money on Murphy. It was because 50 would have won me 500, and I was rooting for her so bad because she's a friend, and I'm like, I really wanted her to win, but I think it's just a case of like she got in there and was just, I don't know if she froze, but she was like, this girl's quicker, faster, better right now. Like, it's like she just didn't, it's like she was watching herself lose. Like she couldn't capture the moment. And the other girl just was dominant. What did you think?
There's just nobody, it's like Amanda Nunes. There's just nobody even close in her division.
Yeah.
It's just not even, they could drag up, whoever, there's no one else. She's just that much better than everyone else in the flyweight women's division. I felt like Shevchenko was just letting it go on. She was just like letting it, like not attacking her very hard, like just kind of like, okay, I don't want this to end just yet, and then it's like, all right, it's been 4 rounds, I'm gonna kill you. Like it was boring as shit. I slept through it.
You put in 4 or 6 weeks of training, you want to get something out of it, so you might want to carry him for a couple rounds and show off in front of the people in Vegas.
That's pretty much exactly what it felt like.
But Sean, was there a way for her to win that fight, Lauren Murphy?
God, I was hoping so, because if I have to see Shevchenko spin around again, like at the end of it, man, I'm going to kill myself. I love
it when she does her little Russian ballerina dance. That's like my favorite part of the fight.
The other girl, Shevchenko, was like 80-2 as a kickboxer. K1, this Glory. Lauren Murphy started late, I think at 23. Don Frye, what would you have done differently if you were Lauren's coach?
I said, you know what? We need to put some armor on you and give you a bat, a samurai sword, and put you inside of a tank.
Pretty much.
And you're ready to go.
It seemed like in round 2, she had a better strategy of like dirty boxing, kind of how Randy used to do it when he fought guys, just get him against a cage and just elbow.
Oh, fuck. You know what? Dirty boxing. The whole fucking sport of boxing is dirty. Who fucking came up with that dirty boxing comment? That's the dumbest fucking thing I ever heard in my life. It's like that Superman punch. God damn. If I ever did that, I want somebody to shoot me right in the middle of it. Fuck, right out the air. Boom.
It'd be ironic if Lex Luthor shot you in the middle of the Superman punch. Hey, Adam, don't you have a guest that was coming on?
Yeah, I texted him, Stephan Bonner, the code. He never came on.
Oh, perfect.
So, by the way, Don, you never told us. Last week you said that there was a transgender that your wife was cheating on. Turned out it was just a guy with a guitar. But you said there was 3 other times that you went to guys' houses that were cheating with your wife.
Yeah.
What was the second? Can you give us what was the second time?
The second time there were 2 guys there, and they were behind a half wall because of the swimming pool, So they were over there, and they kept backing up, and I'm like, "You're gonna fall in the pool," And I'm like, "The fence is between us. What are you doing?" And then my ex-wife said, "You're lucky that so-and-so didn't pull out his gun and shoot you." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, that really makes me fuck.
Okay, so you get to the guy's house. There were 2 guys behind a fence. They were both sleeping with your ex-wife?
I'm not going to say,
Right.
Allegedly. How about allegedly? Or my opinion.
So you show up and then you jump into a pool to run from you?
No. There's one of those 3 foot, 3.5 foot pool fences between you.
Yeah.
Block pool fence, and they keep like backing up while I'm just sitting there talking to them, and I'm like, "You're gonna fall in the pool,"
And then No, what did you want to know from them?
I'm not gonna scale this fence. I don't care. I just want to know if you're her new drug dealer. Shit.
Got it. Okay.
Don was like, "Don't fall in the pool and ruin your jazz flute and drum set."
Sean,
there goes the duet.
Sean, was your ex-wife cheating on you at all?
No, not that I know of. I don't know that anybody could have tolerated it long enough to, cheat, whether tolerate her attitude. But No, that's I don't know. Probably despite her best efforts.
Well, hey, these guys aren't going after my ex-wife's attitude. Trust me.
Despite
So I just want to know where your ex-wife lives today because I wouldn't mind getting in rotation. It sounds like she keeps a pretty good stable.
Do you play any instruments, Greg?
Yeah, I'll bring my jug.
Get your skinny jeans.
I'll wear my skinny jeans. I'll get a fake ponytail and I'll bring a jug and I'll play a little.
Works every time.
The ladies love a man who can work that jug.
I don't know. Wait. So now, did you find out about all these guys at once, or did you know she was cheating and like stuck with her?
No, I found it out slowly, and one after the other, basically, and then like, God dang, lucky my wanker didn't fall off, shit.
Wow.
Man, I'm gonna
He
make
kept finding different sized condom wrappers in her car.
And guitar picks.
Guitar picks is like, why is there a Magnum and a Slimmer fit in here?
I take off my wedding ring like when I go boxing in the house, and so I go to Vegas. I'm driving to Vegas. And my wife takes a picture of my wedding ring because I left it on the table by accident. She's like, "You taking off your wedding ring to go to Vegas?" I'm like, "You think if I'm going to cheat on you, I'm going to leave my wedding ring on the table? Like what? You think I'm the dumb?" She's like, "Well, why would you even think of that?"
I love that ended with the table. Thankfully. You think if we're going to cheat on you, I'm going to leave my wedding ring on?
Adam was like, honey, we all know men who wear wedding rings, it's easier to pick up chicks. Of course I would bring it with me.
Number one. Number two, why? She's like, well, I didn't know you would. I don't even think I would just take it off and then cheat. She's like, well, obviously, you planned it out? I go, no, I'm not planning it out. But you're just basically like, come on. Like, you really think, like, are you out of your fucking mind? Like, I'm going to cheat on my wife. I'm going to keep my wedding right here so she sees it. And then I'm going to go to Vegas. Like, give me
Exactly. You take it off in the hotel room. You put it in the safe. And
Dude,
then
you ever hear about that guy on 9/11 that worked in the towers? That was like, it was on the front cover of the New York Post. He cheated on his wife like the night before. And he fucks some girl, and then all of a sudden 9/11 happens, and his wife thinks he's in the towers. So she's crying all day because she thinks he's dead. And then he calls her like, "Hey, honey, how's it going? I'm at work." Like, he doesn't realize.
Oh, shit, yeah. That's a tower. He's somewhere
news.
in Jersey having a party.
Yeah, and then she's like, "What do you mean you're at work?" She's like, "Yeah, everything's good. What's going on today?" She's like, the fuck, what, 2 planes? And then he got caught cheating. And then she told the New York Post what happened. And it was like on the front cover of like the luckiest, unluckiest cheater. And then like.
He's like, I'll be honest, honey, I'm cleaning Don Frye's wife's pool.
Like, I mean, if he's faithful, he's dead. So I guess in some ways he's got to be happy. At the same time, he's got to be like the worst.
I hope he married the girl that saved his life.
Yeah, like they gotta make a movie about that guy, right? I mean, like, that guy's hilarious. Jalen Turner won his fight. He's the guy who he's the black guy that loves tarantulas. His nickname is the Tarantula, but he has like 6,000 tarantulas. Like that's his thing. I can't think of
6,000. Nothing makes ladies more comfortable than having 6,000 spiders waiting for them back at your place. That he needs to get out of his own way. It looks like he beat this guy pretty fast, though, so that's good.
He's good. I think it should be like WWE, where he takes out the spiders and just puts them on the guy afterwards when he's like out cold. And then Cynthia Cavillo, we talked about that.
Yeah.
She said she's never been hit that hard in her life. And that Jessica Andrade does that to you. I mean,
she never did.
What does Jon Jones does it?
I think that's the problem sometimes. And I don't know if she trains with guys her size that like kind of pull punches on her maybe. But I would think guys her weight hit as hard as Andrade, right? Maybe not, or maybe they're not trying to knock her out in sparring or something. But it's like all these girls that fight Cyborg. They're like, I've never been hit that hard before in my life. Like, are you not doing that person a favor in sparring if you're not trying to hit as hard as Cyborg would be if you're a guy sparring with a girl? Sean, what do you think?
I think it's interesting you rationalize that it's okay to beat up women because you're doing them a favor. But no,
I love the way that's the way you heard it.
I've never, if I was a woman, and I may be, but if I was a woman, I would never train with anything but men. Why would you ever train with a woman? Or like, I don't understand, because any man, despite what they'll tell you on TV, any man who fights is going to be stronger, faster than you, more athletic. I don't understand why. I see women train together. I don't get it. Like, maybe they can't find other training partners. Like, maybe Jon Jones isn't available to beat him up.
Well, I think it's to the point that you're making, and Adam, which is, as a man, you get in there and you know what your job is, but I think, there's got to be a part of you that doesn't want to hit as hard as you would if there were another man in front of you. I don't know that it's like, even an intellectual choice, so much as just an instinct, don't hit as hard, so they're not cutting loose the way they.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I've been divorced twice. I would love to get in there and whack a woman.
All right, we're 15 minutes into the podcast. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
No, but it's crazy. Sometimes, there's a lot of different things about it. I mean, number one, I know when I coach wrestling, a lot of times guys don't want to wrestle girls, which it is what it is, right? But I'm like,
that's different. I think you're afraid you're going to get a boner.
But I'm always like, hey, treat them exactly like you would a man. It makes no difference. Whoever's in front of you is who you beat, guy, girl, whatever. But the hard part was when I have parents ask me, like during a match, hey, could you not have Timmy wrestle a girl? Because if he loses, it'll, fuck him up. And then, mentally. And then I go, it's tough for me because a part of me wants to be like, no, he wrestles whoever we want to. The other one, it's their parent. They're the ones paying and putting the kid in wrestling. I have to do what their parent says. It's always a tough situation for me to do. But I do think that, yeah, it's hard. I mean, if she's fighting Jessica Andrade and I'm the coach of Cavillo, and I know how hard Andrade hits, I'm going to have to tell the 35, whoever's training with her, like, dude, put it on her. She has to be able to know how to take that punch. But can you train to take a punch, Sean?
I mean, to a degree. I mean, eye discipline's important, and like rolling with it. But, I don't know. A lot of people have the mistaken thinking that the harder you get hit, the better your chin gets. It's actually the opposite. The more shots you take, the more head trauma you take, your chin gets progressively worse in time. So yeah, I don't know. It's sometimes a girl is just way better than the other girl she's fighting, or even a guy. It doesn't matter. Sometimes the other fighter is just that much better, and it doesn't matter what you do in training. Sometimes they're just a lot better. I know that when Bruce Buffer was wrestling coming up, I heard that he said his parents instructed him he is not to wrestle with any girls at all. So I don't know if that was
I didn't know that Bruce Buffer wrestled. I'll tell you what. The only time I trained with Roxanne Modifier. You tell that story, Greg? Mike Pyle was training me for.
Yeah.
Did I hear a story about that? Me and Roxanne sparred together.
I think so. Yeah, I seem to remember this. But go ahead, please share it again.
No, Mike Pyle was like, hey, I want to train you in Vegas. I'm like, okay. So he's giving me free lessons. It's awesome. We're doing mitts. He's doing jiu-jitsu. But then he's taking it way too seriously. He's like, you have a press conference tomorrow at 3. Be there. He's like, you have a weigh-in on Friday. I'm like, dude, ha. And then he's like, Saturday I have a special it's sparring day. But get ready. So I do 5-6 rounds of Pyle. And he's going easy on me, but I'm still fucking exhausted. 8 rounds, whatever it was. And then all of a sudden I turn around and there's Roxanne Modifier with headgear and gloves. Let's go. And I look around and everyone has their phone out. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, right? So then all right, ding, ding, ding. So then I'm just like, okay, so I just take her down. I just double leg her. I think she thought we were doing nothing but standing. So I'm just holding her down and then just keeping her there, and then she gets up, and I just throw her on her head again, under, over, hip toss her. I'm 50 pounds heavier, but that was just ridiculous. But Roxanne's a strong girl. I was hoping she'd win that fight. I really was. But that girl was a monster. I
think Mike Pyle was hoping she'd win that fight because it sounds like he tried to get you really tired so you could get beat up by a girl. That's what I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, and now for your final challenge, bring out Roxanne.
Dude, it was crazy. So this week.
Well, that Tyler girl looked way better than her. Just so much more well-rounded, way stronger.
Yeah.
It was bad. She beat her bad.
Now, Sean, Don, is USADA testing during COVID?
I wish they wouldn't test at all, but I would think it's probably scaled down a little bit.
What was that, Don?
All the fucking athletes on the planet need to get together and tell them to fuck themselves, you know? And they do. Those bastards have too much power. And especially people in the UFC, you know, they get together and say, no, we're not going to fight. You're going to run that USADA bullshit against us. We're not fighting. Go pound sand.
So you think guys should be able to use steroids?
Yeah, shit. Make 2 different leagues.
I agree. They should have.
Just like
If they made 2 different leagues, nobody would watch the unenhanced league.
Exactly.
You have monsters over there killing each other in one league.
No,
and the other league
no.
is a lot of good
Many
cardio.
Many people in the Christian community would love to watch, you know, non-drug induced athletes.
It would be a UFC versus Injecta, right? Instead of Invicta. it'd be
I'd like to see the USADA test the NFL just one season and see how many players were left at the end of the year. Like about 12 per team is what you'd have, and they would all be kickers.
All right.
Hey, they had a world record field goal kick in the game for the Ravens.
So Tyron Woodley, the bet was he has to get an I Love Jake Paul tattoo if he lost the fight, and then that would be he get a rematch. Today he has now I Love Jake Paul on his finger, his middle finger. He got it, and then he writes, "I love you, son. Now come and get this ass whipping because I heard you've been talking back to your elders." I don't know how I feel about this. I hate the fact that he did this. I don't like him having I Love Jake Paul on any part of his body.
But didn't he have to do it? And which reminds me, which one of the fighters had? Wait a minute, who was it? Somebody had a fucking tramp stamp.
That was what's his name? That was.
Oh, it was Lawler. Lawler had I'm like, does Lawler have a fucking tramp stamp going on? What the fuck was that?
Not embarrassing as I Love Jake Paul though. I mean, I know he wants this rematch, but
That's a close call.
What?
That's a close call. Thank you, Don. That is a very close call.
But he made $1 million for the first fight. He's probably made over $1 million in his fighting career, you know, combined. Does he need that? I mean, does he need?
Yes.
Really? Well,
it was the easiest $1 million he ever made the first time. Why not make it again?
To get an I Love Jake, you would get an I Love Jake Paul tattoo for $1 million?
Yeah.
I'd get one across my forehead for $1 million. But I do love Jake Paul.
I would get one.
You know what's more embarrassing than that
penis.
tattoo is the fact he lost to Jake Paul. I would be more embarrassed than that about the tattoo.
Exactly. At least that one, yeah. At least he can explain away the tattoo. This is what I got $1 million for this. How do you explain getting beat by a non-fighter? Oh God.
Don, would you get an I Love Jake Paul tattoo for $1 million?
Oh, it depends on where I was going to put it. Right?
What about like on your arm?
Yeah, my arms are scrawny, so nobody would be able to read it. Sure. Yeah, but that'd be $2 million.
I mean,
Don could put it across his upper lip and then grow his mustache in 6 hours to cover it up, and it wouldn't matter.
I think I would, but I don't think I would if I was in his position. If I had the money, which he doesn't need, why would he get the I Love Jake Paul?
Woodley's made millions, not just he's made millions as the UFC champ. I guarantee you. But
yeah,
I think it's gone.
I mean, he has 6 kids and an ex-wife, and he said he bought everyone cars, all his friends' cars and shit. But oh man, I don't know. All right,
so that usually is the first step to financial security for the rest of your life is buying all your friends and people you know cars. It worked out great for Tyson and all the other guys.
I gotta get.
Yeah, I didn't make enough money to buy all my friends bicycles.
I gotta hang around with some of these guys. Nobody's giving me nothing.
So this Friday night on Bellator on Showtime, they're having a secret fight. It's it's MVP versus Douglas Lima, the rematch. Now Lima's only victory, Payne's only loss is against Lima. It was awesome, the first one. Page is looking great. Lima's kind of hasn't been looking as good as he was. He lost his last fight, I think, to Masasi. He lost to Amasov of 50-45, and then he lost to Masasi before that. He beat Roy McDonald. Who do we like in this fight?
Easy for you to say.
Who do we like in this fight, Sean?
I'll go MVP, man. I think he's still getting better. You know, like he's young coming up, and I think he'll take it.
Don?
You know what? Last week I made the mistake of calling all the same calls as McCorkle, and just because of that reason, I would go the other direction.
You should put money on it.
Yeah. Greg?
Yeah, absolutely. MVP, man, all day. I love it.
Saturday night in Las Vegas, Johnny Walker, who came out like he was murdering everybody. Remember, he just came out there. He was killing everybody. He did like the worm, hurt his shoulder in a fight. Hasn't been looking as good. He beat Ryan Spann, lost to Krylov, lost to Corey Anderson. Before that, he beat Misha Serkinov, beat Khalil Roundtree. He was just beating everyone out. He is fighting Thiago Santos. He's the guy with the big hammer tattoo.
Yeah.
He's a monster. He's the guy that I thought the Jon Jones fight was really, really close. He lost to Glover Teixeira. He lost to Rasnik. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. But it should be a good fight. Johnny Walker, Thiago Santos. Who do we like, Greg?
I'm going to go with Thiago Santos on this one. I mean, I know he's coming off a loss, and Johnny Walker's got the win. That's what it says here. But I don't know. I like Thiago Santos to beat him up, overpower it.
Don Frye?
I'll go with Johnny Walker because I like the name. It reminds me of some good moments in my life.
I dig that.
And also, it's a good area. It's a good area name too. So let's go with that.
Jeez.
Now Kevin Hollins, who won 6 fights in 2000, has not won a fight this year. He was 5-0 in 2020, and then 0-2 so far in 2021. But he fought Derek Brunson, and he lost to Marvin Vettori. He's been out-wrestled. Supposedly, he's been training with Johnny Hendricks. Johnny Hendricks is now a cop and a wrestling coach.
He's a good wrestling coach.
Great wrestling coach. He's fighting Kyle Dacus, the guy's brother.
Right.
The cop's brother, who's 10-2, lost to Phil Hawes. I don't think he's a wrestler. So I think in this fight, Kevin Holland wins this fight because they're putting him against a guy who's not a wrestler. It seems like wrestling is his Achilles heel. Don Frye?
What's the question?
Who is Kevin Holland or Kyle Dacus?
Holland's training with Hendricks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Hey, let me ask you something. Did you bring enough for everybody?
Yeah, I know. He's over there eating lunch in front of us now. I'm like, what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah.
My wife brought it in.
Yeah. What?
Sorry. Sorry.
Oh, did you bring anything in for me?
We should all just start eating during the podcast.
Sorry, I'm sorry. You're
right.
You're right. I shouldn't have done that. You're absolutely right. Not professional.
No, the hard way to go. Go back to eating, you twit. We're giving you a hard way to go.
No, it probably is annoying, to be honest.
You did not trigger anybody's sensitivities, okay? You're allowed to eat.
Greg, what do you have coming up?
October 9 and 10. This weekend, the wife and I are going on a lovely trip to the Northeast to see the fall foliage because that's where my life is these days. But then next weekend, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10, I'm going to be at the Laughs Unlimited in Sacktown, Sacramento. That's going to be a fun one, man. Come out and see me.
And Don, what do you have coming up?
I'm going to head down to Columbia for the BioAccelerator. Get juiced up and hopefully fix my body.
Love it. October 7th, I will be at the Strat in Vegas doing the I'm hosting the UFC Comedy Jam. If you want tickets, hit me up or go on the website UFC at the LA Comedy Club. And then I will be in Lansing, Michigan, October 20th to the 24th at the Funny is Funny Comedy Club in Lansing, Michigan. This Saturday night, I'm at the Vault in Palm Springs. It's a dispensary. If you like marijuana and you like laughing, come to the Vault in Palm Springs.
To drive all the way out to Palm Springs, drive past the 3,000 dispensaries on the way, and go to the one in Palm Springs.
Yeah. Anyway, I love you guys. You guys are the best. I'll talk to you guys soon.
See you, buddy.
Take care.